As you can see, this is an HO scale building, and you've seen me do a few of these in some of my videos. This is another building for a customer of Dave Bennett of Train Installations, and this is the Centennial Mills background building by Walthers, part of their Cornerstone series. And the building is really small compared to some of the things that I've built. And this is a background flat that measures about 2 inches deep, 10 inches long. And based on the photograph, I don't think I'll have too much trouble, but I'm going to open up the context, of course, make sure all the pieces are there, and of course look at the instructions, and then I can determine that better then. From what I would gather, there's going to be a lot of painting at the beginning of the windows and the details like that, but I think this thing will go pretty smoothly. So let me go ahead and open up this box and take a look. Here I am taking all of the parts out of the packaging. I thought that I originally had sped this part up, but I didn't. After seeing that I didn't, I edited most of this process out, but you can see where I started and when I had pulled everything out. Okay, it looks like all of the advertised content is present. Alright, so I wanted to experiment with what's becoming one of my favorite mediums, and that's the AK concrete material. And this, of course, is a plastic structure, so my main objective was to see how well the AK product stuck to plastic. Haven't really used it much on plastic. Matter of fact, I don't think I've used it at all on plastic. So that was the main objective. So I did all these cross bracings, smeared it on. It was a total mess. And then went through and kind of trimmed up the edges inside these little sections here, indented sections, which I'm not going to use that on. And then I kind of sanded it a bit. And in the sanding process is where I experienced a bit of problem, because some of the AK in spots where it wasn't as thick kind of scraped off the plastic a bit. But that may be to my advantage, because of course we want this building to look aged a bit, and of course some of the concrete may be wearing away to a certain degree, so that might necessitate some rust spots where the rebar is starting to come a bit exposed. But I think so far it's come out okay. Just got to go in and clean up these indented sections a bit, because in my trimming I did scrape away some of the paint that I originally put on there, so I'll go back and touch that up a bit, and then I'll give it the final wash and see if the outcome is where I'd like it to be. And this is actually the back side. You always start with the side that no one's going to see when you're experimenting, so that's what I did. And if this turns out to be a disaster, it will be on the back side, and I can redeem myself with the front panel. But I think we might be in good shape. We'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, and then I'll come back with what the results are. So here's a first look at the concrete trim that I've done. On the video, it's actually kind of looking like it's got a green tint to it. So I may go in and do a little bit of dry brushing to tone that down, or put a wash on it. Another wash, I should say, to darken that up. But I'm overall happy with how things have turned out with it, so much so that I went ahead and did the other walls. This is tedious, and it took a bit of time, probably a little bit more time than most would spend on a background structure, but I like to experiment with things and try new things, so I wanted to see if this would actually work and it would fly. I also had thought about using texture paint as well, And that might be another experiment that I will do as well, to try, especially on applications like this. But we're going to move forward. At this point in time, I just need to, I guess, get the windows in. Alright, so I got the front wall, the back wall as you've seen earlier, and the two side walls. And I also gave the dock a concrete treatment. So all these are ready to go, and the next step is to go ahead and get the windows in. Now here I am prepping the windows and doors to give the illusion of chipping paint. This step alone is a bit loud, but once this is done, I mute it by adding a color that is very similar to the original reddish color. In order not to bore you, YouTube, I sped the next couple of sections up. Here you see me toning the original tan color down. In this section, I am dry brushing that same tan color on the railings, ladders, and fire escape supports. To be honest, I am not sure why I use this particular color. Maybe if it's a wheat or flour manufacturer, the workers came outdoors with product on their hands and feet. Hey, we have to use our imagination sometimes, don't we? Alright, as you can see, all the windows have been put in, frames and the actual glass. I did go ahead and select a few glasses within each frame and colored them in with a green as well as a beige type color. Not 100% sure why that's done. Probably need to do some research and just find out exactly why. But I think at this point I can go ahead and start assembling the building. Okay everyone, here's the completed structure. As you can see, not only have I put the walls together, or maybe at this angle you can't see that I put the walls together, so we'll have to get a closer look, but I did add the front details, the ladders, and the landing areas. I also put the dust collectors on and a little mechanism that holds those in the roof, and I think it came out okay. So if you notice on the right, that's actually just what I was calling the back wall. It's actually not a back wall. I guess if you did some trimming and cutting, you could use it that way, but I'm imagining that it's probably just something you can add on as an extension, or probably exchange it out if you wanted that type of look in the front. I could have used that in the front, but the back of this structure is meant to be out because it's supposed to be against something, against a wall or something, so there's not supposed to be a back to it. Duh. But anyway, I just have that sitting off to the side because I guess that's one way you could use it if you wanted to create a longer structure. But I need to take you in for a closer look. Just wanted to bring you in a little closer. You can see how I've weathered the dust collectors, rusted them up a bit. Put a film on the windows so it's not clear to see in, and it diffuses the light a little bit. And also, if you look here on the corners, the building, when you put it together, you can clearly see those corners. So what I did is just filled in the gaps with the concrete material and weathered it just as I did the rest of the building, and it blended right in. That's actually on both corners. So I've sent pictures to the customer. He's very happy. The building is lit. That's kind of why it's on a little tilt here, because this is going to go through the bench work. Got it lit with a battery right now, so I'll go ahead and let you see that. And we will go ahead and call this video done. All right, I had forgot to show you the roof. Nothing special. This was provided. All I had to do was spray it. And it actually has a gritty texture to it already, so I didn't have to add anything. So it fit right in place. All right, everyone, that's going to about do it for this build series. I hope that you found this to be helpful and entertaining and got something from it. I also hope that if you've not been to my channel before now, that you would go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that bell so you can get future updates, as I'm uploading videos a little bit more frequently than I have in the past. But for now, I'm gonna bid farewell. And again, this is Dave, also known as Luvindemtrains, and we will see you next time.